Raider Nation. It's time to connect. Leo, Jay, Nate, Jeff, right. Yeah, silver and black. The crew is in sync. Breaking down the madness before you can blink. Another week, wow, another storyline. But the Raider connection keeps it all in line. From Vegas lights to the East Coast grind. We talk that truth, no filter, no rewind. Four voices strong, so buckle in tight. It's time to bring the nation to life tonight. This is the Raider Connection Show, where the silver and black stories flow. Leo, J, Nate, and Jeff on go, breaking every play down blow by blow. R-N-4-L, you already know. Welcome to the Raider Connection Show. Leo with the facts, breaking down the scene. Jay brings a fire, keeping takes real mean. Nate on the road with the vibe and the view. And Jeff swings heavy when the nation needs truth. Wins or losses, we show up proud. Raising Raider Nation, loud and loud. Hit that chat, pull up, don't wait. This is family, this is connection, this is fate. Silver shields up, the energy grows. Four voices united everywhere that it goes. Every first down, every heartbreak hit. Raider Nation stay locked, we don't quit. This is the Raider Connection Show, where the silver and black stories flow. Leo, J, Nate, and Jeff on go, breaking every play down blow by blow. R-N-4-L, that's how we roll. Welcome to the Raider Connection Show. So grab your drink, hit subscribe, let's ride. Raider Nation strong, we never divide. From kickoff to the final echo, you're tuned into the Raider Connection Show. Hey! You're tuned into the Raider Connection Show.
What's up, Raider Nation? What's going on? You're back with another episode of the Raider Connection, along with myself, 401 Raider Jeff. Next to me, Jay Raider from Just Raiders Baby, and on the other end is LB Raider 10. Leo is not with us tonight. He had a prior engagement that he had to go to. But tonight, we're going to switch things up a little bit. Tonight, this is more, we're going to find out the identity of the Raiders, the past, the current, and possibly what it's about to become. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of fun at some point in this. But other than that, how are you two feeling? How you been? It's been a week since I've been on with you guys. So how you doing?
I feel great.
Likewise.
I had to get my mind right. You know what I mean?
You got your mind right? You good now?
I got my mind right. Yeah, I got to get my mind right. Whatever it is, whatever it takes to go ahead and get your day on the right path.
Nate, how you doing?
Good. Chilling. Same old.
Opening day of baseball was today, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But tomorrow is the big one because obviously, who cares about the fucking Yankees? So,
are you guys home game tomorrow for you guys?
No, we don't open until the 3rd, which I requested work off to go all day to Angel Stadium for.
Let's see. When's the 3rd?
It's
Like
a Friday.
that.
Oh, it's a Friday night. Okay. Won't interfere with any shows. At least I knew ahead of time, so we're good. So obviously you guys are up on the news that's going on this week, right? Between the Dan Orlovsky thing and did you guys watch the Max's rush from yesterday at all?
Yeah, I caught up on it today.
Honestly, I didn't.
Well, you're in luck because we're going to play some clips from it. I pulled some clips from it that we're going to address. Basically, it was his first chance to kind of strike back at some of the narratives that were written out there on, by social media people, sports analysts, the ones that don't really know. But some of it was kind of funny. I didn't know about it until Leo brought it up last night, and then I made sure I watched it last night. I was like, God damn. He wasn't happy at one point. You could see him really fire off, but it was still kind of comical in a way too. Like how the Ravens fans reacted to him was hilarious. so let's we're gonna roll into that. All right. And then we're gonna also cover the new QB coach that we picked up. And I know Jay wanted to talk a little bit about the Ty Simpson and Dan Orlovsky thing. So I'll give you guys we talked it up last night too. So I know you guys haven't been on since that went down. So I'll give you two. After we talk about Maxx, we can talk about that, and then we'll go into the head coaching. But before we get rolling, let's just hit the chat up, see who's here with us tonight.
Yes, sir.
Who's rocking on a Wednesday night? We got Big Luck in the house. We've got 49ers Red Zone. What's up, bye? Dan is here. What's up, Dan? Alon's in the house.
Hey, Long.
I ain't watching no Flock Nation propaganda. It's not. You'll see. Detroit God's there. What's up, brother? How you been, man? Long time no see. Demokes is in the house. I don't know. Didn't know that you had some twerk music going on. Yeah. He likes the intro. Thank you. Rosetown's in the house. What's up, Rosetown? Video was definitely done by Nate. That video was all Nate. I did the music. Yeah. That was it. Arnie, what's up, Arnie? Chris Molino, what's up, brother? Good seeing you on Sunday at the card show, man. That was awesome to see you. See, John Raiders in the house. Can we forget about Ty Simpson and focusing on some Raiders staff showing hype on Drew Aller? Yes, we can switch the narrative now.
Drew Aller.
Let's see. Yamaha, the Raiders need an offensive tackle. Yeah, kinda. I think so. Pat McAfee destroyed Dan Orlovsky. Whole argument on his show. They made Dan Orlovsky look like an absolute jackass. What's up, Alex? Alex is in the house. Not gonna lie, Pat has been on Dan's neck for like 2 weeks. Let's see, flock around and find out.
That's why I just told 805 right now. Shout out to 805 that Dan should have hired him to go ahead and make his argument, bro. Because 805 is on point.
805 puts a better argument up sometimes than some of these.
Way better, bro. Like, okay, I'm like, okay. Like, I can listen to your shit, you know, like you're making some like valid points here, you know, like I might not agree with them.
And it's funny because his takes on this have been way before Dan Orlovsky even mentioned anything on it, you know. So that's the other.
I told him because I haven't heard him talk about Ty Simpson. I've only heard that anti-Mendoza hate propaganda coming from 805. Just kidding, bro. But we know how I feel.
Hey, so real quick, Chris, if you're still in the chat, while I was at the card show, I bought some football cards. I haven't bought football cards in a long time, but they're all Ashton Genty rookie cards.
Nice.
Bought 5 of them. I should have got Brock Powers too, but I'll go to another show. I'll buy some more again. So, all right. So we'll roll into the Maxx thing here. All right. So I'm gonna do this first.
All the things that you can lie about.
Right. So he rolls into this in a moment, but you can see where he's heated though. You know, with the takes. And I mean, I get it. You know, if you don't know the full narrative behind everything, I mean, I can kind of get it 100%. But this is where it starts to get funny again too. There's still one more, but I mean, again, it's still, you know, look how fast those Raven fans that wanted him so bad, and then went down, and it wasn't even his fault, but yet they turned on him.
I think they're just upset at the situation. Like if the vice versa happened to me, I'd be fucking talking shit. Like, nah, fuck that. It doesn't take that long to get to like, you know, wherever to wherever. Or I would definitely be the same. Just because I was upset that it didn't work out in our favor. Like you had the opportunity to get one of the best defensive ends in the league, and you know it kind of just fell apart for whatever reason. And I totally understand why they would be upset, but that shit is funny.
It is. Like they're even complaining about how he had how he flew there and the drive, and it's like, really, that's how petty some people get. Like I've seen some, you know, I know I've had some takes and everything, but I don't think I've ever gotten that fucking petty where I'm like, well, fuck, you know, you had to drive 2 hours to get there. It only takes 40 minutes to get there. What the hell? I mean, that's talk about nitpicking, you know. You got anything, Jay, on that?
Nah. No. I mean, this is all fucking ridiculous takes, bro.
It is. This is the last one, right? And they just talk about the freaking drinks that they're drinking at that point. It becomes a promo. So let me ask you this then. Now that we're a couple of weeks removed from everything with the whole Maxx situation, and he finally was able to say what he said. I guess basically, like I said in our chat, it came to a boiling point where he just had enough. And this was a different Max on this show versus what he was last week. It finally came to a head. Do you feel as though that some of the ridicule he's gotten is unjustified, because he basically was just the man in the middle here? This wasn't, this wasn't his fault. It was two teams negotiating on a player, and one team said yes, but then backed out. I mean, do you blame him for any of this? Which is why I don't understand why fans reacted to him the way they did on both sides.
All I blame on Max is that he just initiated the trade. Like he requested the trade, knowing that now. We all know that. If you guys feel like that's not true, I beg to differ. Everything made sense. I've been, if you guys been rocking with me, I've been telling you guys for almost 2 months, like if it happens, it's because Max okayed it. And then once the trade happened, we found out that he requested a trade early in January with Mark, because that's the guy that, it starts there, right? And then it became into fruition. I think what happened was, we all were saying that it's like, if the offer is right, it's going to be done. If not, he's going to stay. And that's what ended up happening. Now, everything else aside from that, that's not on Max. How's that on Max? The Ravens knew he had knee surgery. They sent him over the doctor notes and the X-rays. It is what it is. It's obvious that they got cold feet. They have it's coincidental that they had a lot of players walk out the door, and they just backpedal because you're starting to have their fan base. This is the same fan base that was talking shit about a 2-hour car ride, talking shit about to their team, as far as having everybody walk out the door and just having Maxx Crosby with no future to build off. Aside from that, and they're like, "All right, cool." Literally, saw some dude was like, "I'm gonna wait to see how this kind of plays out, because I don't know. It's just, I don't know about this deal." So I think it happens. It gets to the front office, like it or not. Fans do have an impact on teams, and if the consensus on the fan base is relatively negative, it could sway things. And we see it happen constantly. We quite often, I should say. So, but as far as Max, aside from like everything that happened after that, no, I don't blame him for anything, to be honest. So, it just sucks because he had to go through all that, took his family there and whatnot, and just for him to be turned away and sent back home. But I think this is a good lesson for him, because now he knows, like, the grass is greener. The grass isn't always green on the other side. Yeah, he has a pretty good here, like it or not. It's just the fact that he has that preferential treatment, and you can disagree with that. That's fine. But I'm just saying the fact that Maxx Crosby has influence here. He has certain advantages of being here. One, only he's a leader on the defense, a leader of the team, being here for so long. One of the original Oakland Raiders. Only 2, 3 left, right?
3 right now.
It's cold. 3 now, yeah. 3, right? Okay. Yeah. So see, that does carry weight, but it's just Max being Max and what he's able to do. It's a big thing. But yeah.
Nate, is your channel back up?
Yeah.
His channel's good. I think something with
it's you know what it is? It doesn't happen on the vertical. It only happens on the landscape one.
Yeah.
It's an algorithm or something. That's, you'll count me. That's my bad. I should have done a shorter video. Which is weird though, because it's not like there's no. I downloaded the clips directly off of there and cut it myself. So whatever. Sorry, Nate.
It's all good.
So what's your feeling on that, Nate?
Yeah, I can't I can't blame Maxx Crosby for anything that happened. Like you said, it was the negotiations between two teams, and then obviously what happened with the Ravens. Like they knew everything that was going to happen with Maxx Crosby and his knee, and if they thought that they were given misinformation, or they're giving cold feet, or they whatever they thought for whatever reason that they want to tell themselves at night when they fall asleep, whatever, they ended up backing out. And we all kind of know, as far as on the outside looking in, what it looks like and what it seems like. Time will only tell what exactly is going to be the truth, as far as what we can decipher from what we've seen. Whether or not that means Maxx Crosby's knee is in a worse spot than we all anticipate, or whether the Ravens are just bullshitting. Obviously, time will only tell. But from what I know, from what I've only pieced together from the stories I've heard and articles I've read, is it seems like the Ravens got cold feet, and you cannot blame Max or the Raiders, frankly, for that decision. They had a deal that was done in good faith, that that it was going to get done, and they went through the process, and that's exactly why the trades can't be finalized until the league year is open. So,
What's up, Daniel?
I mean, it is what it is now. I'm glad and happy to have Maxx Crosby back with a different mindset, and I think that he's going to have a very good year, a very good season, especially with how we kind of developed the rest of the defense in his short absence. So I'm excited to see. I've been saying it this whole time, this whole Maxx Crosby saga, that either way for the Raiders, it's a win-win in my opinion. Whether we got the future first-round picks or we got Maxx Crosby back, which ended up happening, to me it was a win-win in either situation. So I'm not upset.
And I agree with you both. I mean, I'm not upset at him at what the final outcome was. I missed the 14th pick. I'm not going to lie there. I still missed that. It was a short-lived relationship, and I was all ready to move in and make residence at the number 14 pick. But
me too. The
14 pick had other.
We were here.
14 pick had other ideas. Unfortunately,
I was looking at Mekhi Lemon jerseys already.
Yes.
Right.
We're like, okay.
But here's my take on the whole thing. How this went down. Baltimore fucked up. Plain and simple. A team does not make a trade for trading away multiple first round picks, knowing that the player's got a medical issue. So basically, they knew that his knee was probably fine. Something changed, and I think it was the fact that there was no interest from anybody else on Hendrickson. He was going to come a lot cheaper, less of a risk, and they just figured, at the last minute, hey, you know what? We're just going to say he didn't pass it, and we're just going to nix the trade. I mean, the fact that the GM didn't even show up, didn't even introduce himself, never, he didn't see him until it was time for him to be tossed out of the building, basically, but hey, you know what? I mean, he did want to leave, like you said. I mean, his intention was to ultimately leave, be traded from the team. They agreed a couple months ago, but they've been kept quiet that he was interested, and they had talked to Mark Davis, and they were going to make it happen, which they definitely did.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's definitely the Ravens. They're the ones to believe. I believe Max 100%, and again, just the way the Ravens fans reacted to him. He wasn't really even a member of the team, and they're giving him shit. He did nothing wrong. I mean, for them to react that way is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. And I just want to add to what you said. I mean, with Trey, there was teams that were interested. The caveat, or the thing that put off a lot of teams, is that the asking price. He was asking about $30 million, which is fucking crazy, right? And so you only had maybe a handful of teams that could afford them, and I think they were probably good in that in that regard, or they weren't willing to go ahead and pay that price. And I think like if he would have asked, or he would have been in the ballpark of what his actual market value was, which is about 25, then you would probably had way more interest in that. But I think what DaCosta saw was like, hey, this guy right here, he's on the same path or better, or slightly better than Max. He's around the same price, maybe about a couple $1 million cheaper, and we don't have to give up our 2 first-round picks for him. Let's try to go ahead and get him. And this is the crazy part, and this is the goal, because all this shit was pre-planned. They had the fucking nerve to bring Trey in the building and seal that deal and use Max as the leverage. Like, hey, we want to go ahead and try to bring in Max and pair you up with Max on the other side. And I'm pretty sure he hyped them up, right? And like, all right, cool. Let's talk about the money. They got somewhere near the area of what he was asking. Not exactly that, but definitely Max was probably definitely using that situation for that leverage part too. And that's something that people forget as well. And then the whole time DaCosta knowing like, hey, we're not going to go through with this. We're going to figure out some way out of it. And they already kind of had the notion, all right, well, let's try to see if we can use the medicals to get out of it. We're still in the period. And they did that. And they were able to go ahead and get the first round picks back. They sent Max packing, they put his ass on a plane. They sent him back to Vegas, and they were able to go ahead and get Trey Henderson, keep the first 2 round picks, and probably save about $2 million in the process, which was crazy. On a business standpoint, that's the luckiest, sweetest deal you can go ahead and make. On a personal level, like on the other side of it, like even still business wise, that's shady as fuck. That's some bullshit. But if you're a Ravens fan and you're in that building and your mentor, you're like, all right, man, you do what you got to do. If you're gonna go ahead and save our 2 first rounds and save us a couple of cash as well, and you're able to get us a premier edge, let's do it. Right? It makes sense. So just wanted to throw that in there.
Just one more thing I would add to all this, and then we can move on to the next topic here. What's going to solve all this is Max comes out and just actually, comes out and just kills it this year. Everybody will forget everything that happened. They'll forget that he asked to be traded. They'll forget that he said Flock Nation. They'll forget that he was physically traded for 4 days. They'll forget about any awkwardness with him coming back. That'll all be forgotten if he just comes out and that defense is just lights out, and that changes everything. Winning helps cure a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what it's going to come down to. And not even physically winning the game, like outscoring your opponent, but winning at the line of scrimmage and showing the vast improvement that we're hoping with this defense. If they have that kind of a change, that people will forget any of this shit even happened. They'll forget that we even talked about this tonight or his podcast show from yesterday. It'll be over,
Yeah, for sure. And I think having him go through everything he's gone through up until this point, I think it's just building up that chip on his shoulder. And I think we're probably going to see the best version of Maxx Crosby we've seen since 2020, 2021, around there.
Just hope his knee holds out. That's all.
Yeah, and we talked about that, and that's something that Robbie Leonard and staff have to probably work with him on reducing the amount of snaps he plays. They might have to start down that back. That's up to them, right? If you're going to want to keep Maxx Crosby on the long term, you're going to have to eventually start doing that sooner or later.
Oh, definitely.
Probably sooner, right? But yeah, we'll probably see the best version of Maxx Crosby this season. Just all that fuel is just kind of lighting a fire under him even more so. And you'll see a pissed off Maxx Crosby, which is like, oh shit, watch out, bro.
You mean we might see more than 10 sacks? Ooh.
I mean, we know he could do it. He's done.
I know Raider Will said 20. I'm like, you're crazy.
No, not 20.
20,
but 20 is a lot. I think like 14, 15 is a lot as itself, but I think he'll be around that mark a little bit, maybe just.
Hey, if he gets 14, he matches his all-time career high. So,
yeah, 14 and a half, yeah. So,
yeah,
he could get like 15, 16.
If he goes to 15, that's his highest yet since he's been in the NFL. So, Damon, it's actually, I think it was, 4 times the Ravens have done this type of shit. I know we've done it not too long ago, but that was just the fact that we just didn't have the money to pay the guy. So we had to renege. That's a different situation. This was kind of a shaky deal here. This was, you're fucking with people's emotions too. On top of that,
And Damien, this hasn't been done at this level.
No, not with a star player like this. That's
no,
the thing.
They have not done it at this level. They've done it on other deals, but at a blockbuster deal,
much,
no, they've never done that. This
I think the highest caliber type play was the Brock Marion one, and that was years ago. I mean, that was a long time ago. Maxx Crosby is the highest profile player that's been involved in a trade that resulted, the results were this, where they reneged and he goes back to his original team. So we're going to drop the Max thing now. So let's hope no more talk with Max upset and this and that. And maybe the next time we talk about him is, hey, he's been traded last minute. We're trading him somewhere else, or he has 14 to 15 sacks. So we'll see. I mean, the option of him being traded is still out there. I'm not going to say it's not. So, let's see. And the NFL won't be. They're not going to punish him. They're going to have proof. They got no proof. That's the problem. Unless somebody talks behind the scenes, that's the only way. All right. So we're going to move on to the next segment, and I'm going to give you two guys a chance here because I know you guys want to talk about this. The Ty Simpson Dano talk. I don't have any clips. I didn't really have time to pull anything up. Everybody knows. As I say, everybody pretty much knows the narrative. He basically just put it out there that he thinks Ty Simpson is a better quarterback than Mendoza. Is the short of it, really. So let me pull this up for you.
All right, cool. So I got a clip, and this is from yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Oh, you're playing the Pat McAfee one?
Yeah, that's the one I got. That's the only thing I saved. I don't have the original one that he did the first take when he first made the tape. Unless you have it. I don't have that. I didn't save that.
But Big Luck. I'm afraid I gotta kind of agree with Big Luck. It's a possibility. He hasn't finished the last 2 seasons, so I hope he does.
Yeah. Let me play this really quick.
Good.
All right, here we go.
We boots on the ground saw Fernando through the biggest games, and it's just like everything about him just screams.
What biggest games, Pat?
Huh?
What biggest games?
The college football playoffs.
Now you're playing possum.
No, you're right. Those SEC games are bigger than the fucking playoff games, Dan.
Am I allowed to ask questions and have an opinion?
They played each other head to head.
Okay, Dan, do you just have so the college football playoffs a big mockery, a scam, doesn't mean anything. These games just don't matter. Like, what do you mean? What are the biggest games? They have a full fucking committee. They have billions of dollars in TV rights for what the biggest games are.
Okay, and so no, I'm aware of that, dude. Like, you guys, okay, so in the biggest games, so the college football playoffs started, and they played opening.
Well, you can start at the Big Ten championship, I guess. You can say Big Ten.
Okay, Big Ten championship. Okay, Big Ten championship. In that game, they're down 13-6 going into the fourth quarter. Indiana.
And then what?
Boom.
So do they win that game?
And then what, brother?
Yes. But
we're talking about all the moments. You're talking about traits. It's like, okay, how about 2nd and 17?
6 points through the first 3 quarters. People.
Ohio State's defense is a historic defense. Like, what are we even talking about?
People crucified Arch Manning for doing that on the road.
Crucified Arch Manning. Arch Manning's not a part of this conversation.
Well, if you go by that too, like Indiana beat Alabama, 38-0? I mean, it's
Okay, so we're just picking and choosing.
No. You
yeah. And this is why people say you're getting paid to do this. You know what I mean, Dan?
No, because I'm giving you factual information, not opinion. They had 6 points through the first 3 quarters in the Big Ten title game.
Against Ohio State, look up who their defense is. Look up what that defense is. That's like one of the greatest defenses in the history of football. And then what did he do? then what do you do, Dan?
The biggest moment.
And what do you do, Dan?
The biggest court, Charlie
He threw,
Baker.
I think he threw the post to start the second half, which is a great throw and a great recognition.
And a huge
And
moment
then-
after getting beat. So mental toughness is there. And then obviously being able to take a shot. He cracked his rib on the first play. I mean, there's just like, because then you're going to hold injuries on the other side. It's like, well, how about first play a Big Ten championship guy gets this and then takes 2 plays off. Wow, I just got cracked. No pause, he said on our show. And then he jogs back out there. It's like, is that not a trait? I don't know. You tell me.
Of course it's a trait. No one's questioning if he's a tough guy or a good player.
God damn. Was that it?
Think so. Hold on. Yeah, that was it.
All right. First of all, Pat McAfee is
That's
nothing.
most of it.
He's basically like a shock jock. And I'm not sticking up for Dan, but not for nothing. Guy couldn't even get a word in edgewise. Every time he's tried saying anything, he shut him right down. So what kind of a guest or host are you having a guest in that can't even get his point across? I mean, he's not even right, Nate. I mean, I can't even say anything.
I totally agree.
I'll let you two go at it.
It's hard from that clip specifically, considering that I think what gets lost in that one is that they're not really talking about the Pat McAfee guys aren't really talking about the quarterback. Like, they're talking about moments in a game, and I understand that's important. It is important, but we're talking about traits and things that will equal NFL production. They're talking about, okay, big games and stuff like that, and those are important, of course. They go on your resume, and that's exactly. But the position of quarterback or the evaluation as a talent is, I think, it gets a little bit lost there. And obviously, I'm not the biggest like Fernando Mendoza guy. I don't think Ty Simpson is better than Fernando Mendoza. I will say that outright. I do think Mendoza is for sure the number one quarterback in this draft, but I think
not the number one overall pick. Remember that,
right? I think that having seen a little bit of Dan Orlovsky, I think, which was his original take. I think I've seen a little.
I have the original take. Actually, I found it.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
If you want to, play that
Can
one,
I pull it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just play that real quick. This is original take. I started a little bit. This is really when Dan kicks off his take on Ty Simpson.
What are you seeing? I think Ty Simpson is QB1. I think Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in this class. I think when you look at the body of work and what was asked of these two quarterbacks, you have to start with the question, who needed to do more to carry their football team to play well? Ty Simpson, and it's not close between those two quarterbacks. Who took more games over throughout the course of the season? Ty Simpson. It's not even close. And if we're asking, like, okay, we're trying to see what you are as a player in college and what you're going to be asked to do in the NFL and what translates. I start with, what do you do in moments of panic with the football? Because that's really what separates good to great. I would tell you that Ty Simpson is more consistent in that regard. There's not a ton of moments of panic out of Fernando Mendoza. And then there's moments when he immediately drops his eyes and becomes a runner. Ty Simpson more consistent in that. What guy was asked to do more NFL throws? When I say NFL throws, I'm talking 15, 20, 25-yard in routes, crossing routes, deep corner or sail routes. Yeah. Ty Simpson, and it's not even close in that regard. Downfield throws, the posts and the goes, I think they're close. Mendoza throws a lot of go routes, and he's good at it, but I think they're close. RPO, get it out. That's probably what Mendoza's offense was. Right. And then I think throwing on the move, they're both relatively equal. So when it comes to moments of panic and big throws, real NFL throws, I think it's clearly Ty Simpson.
So it is, I mean, to be clear, this will get a lot of attention that you feel this way because you are, at this point, I think one of the people whose opinions on this stuff matter the most. And everyone has their opinion, and this is certainly going to be an unconventional one. But you're comfortable saying, if you had the choice between the two of them, you would take Ty right now.
I would much rather have Ty, and I like Fernando Mendoza. This is not to slight Mendoza. Yeah. I would rather have Ty Simpson at the 15 to 20 range than Fernando Mendoza at 1.
Okay, that was it. You wanna continue on?
Yeah. So, hearing that, I don't think. Go ahead, Jeff.
I just want to hit the chat because there's a lot in the chat that's been getting said here.
Yeah.
You want to put?
I don't know. Have you been reading it?
A little bit. Yeah.
So, where is it? We'll bring this one up first. It's funny. Dan is the same age as Simpson. Also, Dan said Gabriel will be a stock QB. Why? Because Gabriel has the same age as Dan. And I know you
do have the same agent. That's not.
Yeah, I don't think that's the narrative, and I think people are just saying that
narrative.
Yeah, but come on, man. Seriously, I mean, that's just people digging for shit, is what it comes down to.
It's a real thing, bro.
Even this here too about Dylan Gabriel being a stock QB and will make the Browns. First of all, he got hurt. He was going to be the starter, and he got hurt. So that's why he didn't start in Cleveland. I mean, he was slated to be the starter. And then they switched gears because he got injured, and look what happened. They just sucked anyway. But there's other stuff in here. Let's see. Check that one. Exit the time. Orlovsky's a joke. It's funny because, and I know Leo and I have said this on the side, him and I talking, and it's funny that, you got a guy like 805 who says what he says, and nobody in his chat says the same thing they're saying right now about Dan. Like he's getting called out, or where's the one? There's one in here that came up right here. He's hot garbage. I don't see anybody calling 805 that, and he's been saying this for weeks about Ty Simpson being a better quarterback, and I don't see anybody saying that to him. I don't even see anybody saying that shit to us that don't want
dog water. Your hot dog water. Hot dog water.
Yeah, but they're referring to hot dog water about his mock drafts, But it's all. What gets me is the fact that somebody's got a difference of opinion other than the herd that's following the whole Mendoza narrative that he's the guy. That God forbid you say anything opposite of what they want, they come out for blood, and that's the part that gets me is I don't get why you can't just say, all right, well, I understand your side of it. I get it. That's your take. This is my take. And just leave it at that. Why does everything have to come to, oh, he's this, he's that name, he's this name. You're crazy. He's an idiot. He doesn't know anything. Or my favorite, you don't know football. You don't know ball. Or you don't know Raider ball. Or you're not a true Raider fan. That's my worst one.
But they do have a relationship. It's very, very.
I don't care about that part, even if it wasn't.
But it's very conspicuous that they have the same agent, and then all of a sudden now he's pushing Ty Simpson, right? I get he didn't explain like on the last take that put the last clip on when he actually did the first one. He explained that argument way better than he did when he was on McAfee the other day.
Right.
Yeah. For sure. 100%. That's why I told Data 5 like he should have hired he should have hired you as the guy to argue his point. Even when you're coming under fire, 805 is always on his guns. He's always very, very linear, very, very organized on his arguments. But that's what he does. But
this isn't true, by the way. I totally disagree with that. Ty Simpson did not have better talent. Who had more talent on their team? He says Ty Simpson, who was going to be washed in the NFL. He didn't. He honestly didn't.
I don't know if he's going to be washed. Look, this is the thing.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
You can. Hold on.
You can't honestly sit. No, hold on. You can't. I'm just referring to this one comment. You cannot honestly sit here and tell me that Ty Simpson had better talent around him than Mendoza.
I didn't even get to say my point across though. I was gonna say before you interrupted me was that I like Ty Simpson and I think he's a good quarterback. Do I think he's better than Fernando Mendoza? I absolutely do not think that. And this is a guy that I've been watching since the season started, probably around late September, early October, somewhere around there. I missed a few games, but I was already looking at Ty Simpson. Even when the whole buzz around Fernando and Dante Moore started occurring, I was still keeping an eye on Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson has good mechanics. I like that. But there has been some question. This is why I don't agree with what
This is
Dan
the one.
Orlovsky is saying in regards to like when it comes to pressure situation. He's good. He doesn't really buckle that much or whatever. Ty Simpson does. He's had big games and he didn't produce. He looked nervous. He struggled trying to get in rhythms. And I said this on 805 show earlier, and he agreed. I'm like, yes, he has struggled in certain games, and that's a fact. That's a fact. So you got to also take that into accountability. When we go down the stretch, when we're out there playing, buying for a playoff spot or in the playoffs trying to advance, it comes down to close game situations. What is Ty Simpson going to do? What is Fernando Mendoza going to do? Out of the two, who do you rather have? Who do you rather have? The hand on the ball. That's a real question. So there's a level to it. There is a distinction between him and Fernando Mendoza, and that's the argument that I just want to go ahead and unequivocally point out that Ty Simpson is not better than Fernando Mendoza. I can go on further.
Well, can we let Nate talk? He's over there dying to say something.
No, God damn it. Health is.
Don't worry, Nate. I'll get you tomorrow night. You can talk all you want tomorrow night. Jay ain't gonna let you.
Oh, but he did start talking. That's why I said, like, oh, you want to keep going? You the one who let me read the chat.
Well, only because we were behind on it.
Oh, okay.
Just real quick, this is the one that gets me right here too.
They don't want the Raiders to succeed.
Yeah, I saw that in another chat tonight, and it pissed me off when I saw that. Go ahead, Nate. Sorry. Am I pulling this up for you?
Oh, I do want to talk about it, but I'll mention it after. I think that for the draft analysis of Ty Simpson, I don't think that Dan Orlovsky said anything completely out of left field. I think that everything he said is true about Ty Simpson. It's just the biggest thing for me is the sample size. Ty Simpson only started 15 games. You have a limited sample size, and those can skew numbers significantly. That's why I don't put Ty Simpson over Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza had 2 years of starter experience, and obviously the success was different because of different schemes, different players, whatever. Obviously Cal and Indiana, but the starting games are extremely, extremely important, especially at the collegiate level. If you look at the players that were drafted, the quarterbacks as of recent that were drafted in the first round and played less than the number is 20 games, they're all busts. Like in reality, they didn't make it in the NFL. So that's my biggest issue with Ty Simpson. I think he has all the qualities, and I think if you once I pull up this Todd McShay spot right here, he kind of elaborates on why exactly he believes Dan Orlovsky and other quarterback evaluators say Ty Simpson has everything to be successful in the NFL. But for me personally, and I think a lot of people as well, it's definitely the amount of starts at collegiate football. Those are extremely, extremely important. If you want to pull it up. I really hope you can hear that.
I'll turn up
Can you hear it?
No, is the volume on?
I think you have to click the little thing on the bottom, bro.
I did. It's on.
Make sure when you share it, it says use volume.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, try it again.
If not, I can try to share it, bro.
I did start something here.
Okay. I didn't know that was an option. Okay.
Yeah, I don't understand why Dan Orlovsky appearing. I don't even know why that's even an issue because of where he was drafted. What's that got to do with anything? Bill Belichick never played in the NFL, but he was a head coach. But that's why I don't think that comment even holds water, if you ask me. Right? I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Here's talking to Shay.
When you're a purist of the quarterback position, when you're like a purist of football, you're an aficionado of quarterback play. there's something that like just resonates with you. My gosh, he's doing everything the right way. The drops are with urgency. The pre-snap stuff, he understands controlling it. He's manipulating everyone. He's got an NFL coordinator, Ty Simpson does, in Ryan Grubb, who the motions aren't just motions. They're not just eye candy. They're indicators. And the indicators he's picking up are almost always, he's accurate with it. Then the ball's snapped. And that cover 2 shell goes to a cover 1 or a quarters, or, and he's recognizing that. And he's not, and like everything's happening fast. So I'm setting all this up because it's a tug as an evaluator, because Ty Simpson's doing NFL stuff at an NFL level, and he's doing it for 9 games, and it looks fucking awesome. Mendoza's not. It's RPOs, it's quick reads, but he's showing up in these big moments. And by the way, that Ohio State tape is the best tape I've seen of any quarterback probably in 2 years evaluating quarterbacks. And then it comes down to one guy's 6'4.5", 236 pounds when he was measured at the combine, and has 35 starts. The other guy whose tape just looks so NFL and it's seducing is 6'1", 211 pounds, 15 starts, didn't hold up. Gastritis, 190 pounds in the Rose Bowl, knocked out of the Rose Bowl. So what do I do?
And I think he makes a really good point when, exactly like you said, when you understand the quarterback position and analyzing and, looking at that, the fact that Ty Simpson does everything correctly in a pro style offense with the correct, like you said, indicators with motions and reading the defense and things like that, it makes sense why people are high on him and possibly being successful in the NFL. And I get it. I get it. Like he just said, it makes sense. But then again, for me, the 15 starts is crazy. It's really hard to take the guy number 1 overall with 15 starts under his belt at the collegiate level. It's really hard. And then
body of work.
Exactly, your body of work. And then you turn on the Fernando Mendoza tape. He said it himself right here too. The Ohio State game was a huge moment. Of course, we all seen the Ohio State game, and he played extremely well at the second half, mainly the fourth quarter. That's big. That's huge. So I understand both sides of the coin here. I don't, but the fact that everyone's saying, "Oh, Dan Orlovsky is so dumb that how can you not see that Ty Simpson is far, far, far superior?" Or 805 is so stupid. I've heard that everywhere. 805, I know you're in here. But
I haven't heard that.
No, I'm just fucking.
I did call you hot dog water though, but I love you, bro.
No, I'm just.
Don't worry about it.
Place
You're
of
good
love,
though.
Comes from a place of love, though, dog.
No, I'm just messing with them. I haven't heard that anywhere. But I understand, like, when looking at 805 at Ty Simpson's tape, like I get it. He does everything in a pro style offense that you want your quarterback to do. There's just, it's not enough for me. It's not enough. There's not enough sample size for me personally.
So yeah. So what?
Not enough sample size of who?
For Ty Simpson.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I got it.
So I think what the heat for Dan, it's because there is a distinction between Mendoza and Ty Simpson. And
Matthew,
with there being such a clear distinction to go ahead and put up a take where you're like, hey, this guy who's projected to go late first or the second is the better quarterback in this class. It's just like, well, like, bro, like you hit it, you hitting the bottle, dog, or what you fucking on, like,
especially with
here.
Especially with the quarterback position too in drafts, and as of recent, there's been so many instances of late risers at the quarterback position that, because the quarterback is such a valuable spot, especially in the draft, you have these guys like Anthony Richardson that flew off draft boards at late, Zach Wilson that flew up draft boards late. Who's another guy that flew up? What's his name?
Sound it out.
Oh my gosh, there's another guy that I'm thinking of. I can't.
Penix?
Penix did too. Yes,
Yeah.
he did, but
Look at
he went
Penix
to
now.
he went to the national championship. But
Yeah.
there's just so many instances that quarterbacks fly up draft boards late, and there's always going to be some guy that comes out of left field and says, hey, you know what? Actually, I think this guy is better. Or there's always going to be differences of opinion. It's if you don't do your own evaluation of the player, if you haven't watched them, it's hard to really give a full opinion on it. That's what I think, at least. And watching both of the guys throughout the collegiate season,
What's up, man?
I can honestly say that I don't think Ty Simpson is better than Mendoza. But I obviously do have a ton of questions still about Mendoza, which I think is valid.
Yeah, it's valid for sure.
McShay must have the same agent then too. Like,
They do, bro.
McShay?
They do. No, I'm just kidding, bro. It's just a
Oh.
joke. Yeah. Now, yeah, I mean, for me with Ty, bro, it's again for me, it's the health. Health is another big factor too, bro. That's also concerning.
What health? He had a stomach issue towards the tail end of the season.
But he was injured. Aside from that, he had a different injury.
What was the injury?
There was an ankle or something like that, like a lower.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he did. So that's another thing too, bro. So, the body of work, the health concerns, the mechanics are definitely there, bro. That is for damn sure. I agree. He could be a first rounder. He'll be a good alternative if we were to trade back from one, right? If this regime finds a reason why they're not going to draft Fernando Mendoza at one, and they trade him away, they trade away the pick, that would be a guy that I would definitely go ahead and pick. Because we need a quarterback either way. It doesn't matter. But he needs a lot. He needs work. That's for damn sure. He needs a lot of work. I don't know about a lot of work, but he needs work for sure. So, but yeah, he's not better than Mendoza, in my opinion. This regime has to find something to.
Well, here's the thing: if then you know what, your opinion means nothing, because if Dan Orlovsky, who actually played in the NFL, his opinion means nothing, then none of ours mean anything. Which is the take that people are putting in the chat. Then what's Dan Orlovsky know? What's fuck him? Blah blah blah. What his opinion means nothing to me. Well, then mine shouldn't either. Should anybody else that doesn't play quarterback? And I saw someone say, I take the opinion of Rich Gannon. I don't remember who said it. Rich Gannon and Tom Brady. Just because they played quarterback doesn't also make them to be that great analyst on them either. You know what I'm saying? Just because they did this doesn't make them perfect at it. So I mean, Jesus, I don't kill the messenger. I didn't even have anything planned to cover this. Jay asked to put it in, and we put it in so that these two could talk about it. But we heated up.
How can we not talk about it? It's a hot topic, and me and they haven't talked about it. And
but it's already, yeah, I know, I get that part. Yeah, you're right.
805 literally had the 2-hour show on this, and great show.
Well, the reason because we talked the shit out of it last night, and I was already done with it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's different, bro. That's you. But like,
Alec, and I do think love will fall to you guys, to the Titans. I don't see him getting past him. Just think about it. It's us, the Jets, and the Cardinals, and the Giants. Giants aren't going to take him. Oh, maybe they will. No, wait a minute. The Giants.
The Giants actually do want Love to, though.
They'd have to move up. That's the thing. They're fifth.
Yeah.
Titans are 4. So if the Giants don't move up, then I see the Titans getting them. I can't see them getting past Tennessee. Where was
Giants? You want to go to 1?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. We'll give you number 1. You give us Jackson Dart.
Oh, that's it, straight up.
I know, that's all it takes.
You can't argue that he's not better than he's not better than Mendoza. Sorry.
Of all time. That's it. That's all I want. Why?
That's it.
First round pick either.
The question is, who do you trust more,
give it to you.
Orlovsky and the naysayers, or Kubiak, Spytek, and Brady? I'm not. My whole take is not that I don't want Mendoza. It's just I just. Again, it gets turned on me all the time when we start talking about
What are you
this.
stressing about, Jeff?
Nothing, because it's like the chat comes after me half the time. It's all your fault, Jay. I'm blaming you.
Why is it my fault? No.
You wanted to talk about this.
No, because it's different.
I can see the
Sometimes
cards
you
too.
ostracize some of the chat, but like for 805's point, I do not agree with that at all.
What's up, Joseph?
But I see the points that he's trying to go ahead and make. It's just that I think there's a lot more questions on Ty Simpson than there is on Fernando Mendoza. Is there questions on Fernando? Yes, absolutely. This is the thing. There's no perfect quarterback. There's no perfect quarterback. And I don't think there ever will be a perfect quarterback. We'll never get to a point where you're like, fuck, this guy is like the clear number one. This guy's going to be like,
we already missed
Super Bowl
MVP. We already got drafted.
Yeah. Like,
wait a minute. Can you repeat what you just said, Jay?
There will never be a quarterback like that. But we have to go ahead. Like the perfect quarterback. There'll never be a perfect quarterback.
For what?
What do you mean for what?
You just said something that spiked me.
You
said that there'll never be a perfect quarterback that we have to take at number one, blah, blah, blah.
No, I never said that. That's you. You're saying that.
Didn't he just say that?
Never be. Nope.
Honestly, he didn't say that.
He did say that take it number one.
No,
he just said it in general.
Yeah, I said in general. There'll never be a perfect quarterback, bro. So we got to stop on that. We got to find that perfect quarterback to go ahead and make sure we get it at one or get at the highest, top 10 draft pick or number 5 or number 5, top 5 or whatever.
Can we at least all agree on this, including the chat, that Mendoza is not the consensus number one overall talent in this draft?
Yes, I agree with that.
I agree with that.
I got 100%. That's why
I guarantee people still say in the chat, no.
That's why I'm in agreement with you. If we trade back off of that we trade away number one, and I trust this. This is, I can't even believe it. I'm saying this, but I can't believe if this regime does not believe in Fernando and they decide to trade away that pick, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna be like, what? I'm gonna ask later, like, what did they see that they did not like, and who are we getting? At
That's
2,
the biggest thing.
At 3, at 6, whoever we trade away with, because it's gonna be only maybe like 3 teams that we trade away that number one pick that can actually afford to get that number one pick, and that means that team really believes in this guy. That there's definitely something there, but also I wanted to address something that you said earlier in the chat with 805, and it's not me attacking you. It's not me attacking you. But this is I wanted to open up this forum because when this is the thing with the draft, and this is the thing with demand.
It's about law.
We have this demand. There's teams that need a quarterback, and quarterback's such a high position that you're forced sometimes to go ahead and get certain players at certain picks. And that doesn't also correlate to quarterback, but also correlates into positions as a whole. Some positions are probably more inclined to do that than others. Wide receiver, another one. I say probably like edge being another one, linebacker, running back, such and such. But usually if there's a premier or a talent that really sticks out and there's a team that has a need, there's teams that will do whatever it takes to go ahead and obtain that player. And that's the thing. I know you said earlier, like, he's definitely not a number one. Why do we have to get him at 1? And that's for that specific reason. If teams will go ahead and draft at whatever that player's draft value is worth, teams will never get their needs met. You'll get like a tackle when you really needed a linebacker, that type of scenario, because these guys are ranked a certain way or at a certain draft pick. And so teams will never do that. And this is why there's deals that are made in the draft. That's why you can go up and down the draft board. if there's a need, there's a team that will go ahead and swoop up or do whatever it takes to go ahead and get that quarterback. So,
are we good now?
No. And
let me just get through this chat here. See, Rebels says Ty Simpson is a better NFL prospect in my opinion. The problem is he should have stayed in school one more year like Mendoza did.
I agree.
When he went to Indiana, he turned down money to go to Miami for the NFL.
I agree.
Simpson is not ready to start. He is a project if you throw him in the right game. Dan never won a Super Bowl, so I hope he's not Dan. Yeah, true. Dan Marino got there once as a rookie, never saw it again. See. So I'm not checking last time. I will say this: that championship game had Miami not sat that corner for whatever I forget what the reason was, the punishment reason. I think it would have been a totally different game because the second half was totally different. That's for damn sure. Once he got out there, that changed that whole defense. They got better. And it was just a luck thing that they scored that touchdown at the end, I think. Because they had a whole half without him out there. That made a big difference. Not saying they still would have lost. They would have not saying they would have lost, but I think it would have been a lot tougher the whole game instead of just the second half. Drew Aller. All right. I want to move on from this. History is not in our favor with 15 start. It's not in our favor. You also can't draft a 6'8", 6'1", 206'8". God, he needs to put on more weight to absorb hits in the NFL level. Well, if our offensive line is as good as everybody thinks we're going to be, shouldn't be getting hits. Let's see. Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. Nobody saw Purdy as a franchise. Nobody saw Tom Brady as one either. So remember that. Greatest quarterback in NFL history was drafted in the 6th round, folks. Remember that. So it's not about grabbing him at number 1. It's like what fits best for you. It could happen this year. It could happen again this year. Somebody could take somebody like, say, Drew Aller late in the draft, and he turns into be a superstar. And then we'll sit here and we'll watch our guy do, like, say, odds is a flop. And we'll be like, God damn it. Well, we're going to play a game that's going to have a lot to do with that in a minute.
Bro.
So let's do this. Let's move on. What?
When is the last time you thought quarterback was the number 1 talent in the draft?
I'm moving all the way back. I'm skipping all the way down. So is your mom, Larry.
I got it.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to move on to this part. Raiders QB future. Can Sullivan develop this guy? So basically, we didn't think we were going to have a QB coach. Well, we got one now. It's Mike Sullivan. He came over. This is his first year with us. Well, first stint with us, I should say. He's been with multiple teams through the years. Where the hell was it? So he's worked with Eli. He's worked with Jameson Winston. He's worked with Daniel Jones. He's got over 20 years experience working with quarterbacks. He's not flashy. He's a technician. Again, he's not here to call plays. He's here to fix things and fix the quarterback position. So he'll obviously help whoever we draft, whatever the player is that we bring in here. Maybe he makes ALC 12 better as a better backup too on top of that. So you have less of a worry if the starter does go down. You feel more confident with that. What's your feeling on him coming in here as our quarterbacks coach? Because initially we weren't going to have one, it seemed like.
Go ahead, Nate.
Honestly, I don't know a ton about the guy except for what exactly you just said right now. So I'm just I think it's interesting the fact that we originally said in the beginning that we weren't going to bring in a quarterback coach, and then all of a sudden, just randomly, we're gonna pick one up. To me, it kind of feels like, is Kubiak going to get enough hands-on time with whoever ends up being our starting quarterback.
It's up severe.
Obviously, you know, if it ends up being Mendoza, or inevitably when it's Mendoza, is he going to have enough time to develop him in the way that he wants? And I think that's why we hired a quarterback coach now, is because in the process, or if that doesn't come, like if he doesn't get enough time to completely mold Mendoza like how he wants, then that's why you bring in a quarterback coach that you trust and you know understands your system and everything like that, so that you can focus on being a head coach. Because if we've learned from anything from Antonio Pierce's time here as the Raiders head coach, it's tough being the head coach. It's not easy to do. So I think the more help, the better, especially for a first-time NFL head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't be mad at bringing in a quarterback coach. Obviously, that's how NFL teams work. So I like the fact that we brought in a quarterback coach at all. So that's kind of it right now. Like I said, I don't really know a lot about the guy. So,
well, I've got a little better breakdown here for you. So this is his coaching stops and the quarterbacks he's worked with. All right, and then Jay, I'll let you chime in here real quick. Jacksonville from 2002 to 2003, he had Brunell and he had Leftwich.
Mm-hmm.
Giants from 04 to 13, he had Eli and David Carr. And it was actually part of that Super Bowl winning season too. Buccaneers from 14 to 15, he had Jameson Winston, Mike Glennon, and Josh McCown. That was during the time that Winston threw for 4,000 yards too as a rookie. New York Giants back again, 16 to 17 with Eli Manning and Geno Smith. Broncos, people forgot Geno went to New York. I forgot until I looked it up today. I was like, God damn. 2018 with the Broncos, Case Keenum, Paxton Lynch, Chad Kelly. Giants again in 2020, Daniel Jones. And then he took some time. I don't know where he went in between, if it was the college ranks, but then now he's with us now. So basically he's he's got experience working with both veterans and rookies. He promotes strong fundamentals, discipline, film study, which will definitely help with a rookie, no matter who it is. He's not flashy. So I look at it this way. He is, if you have to compare him to anybody, he is like the quarterback coach equivalent to like a guy like our offensive line coach. He's an old school disciplinarian type of guy. You know, there's no flair, there's no cuteness. It's boom, let's hit the film room and, you know, grabbing you by the face mask if you screw up type of shit.
mm-hmm.
You know, he's gonna shoot straight right from the hip. He's not gonna sugarcoat shit. You know, I mean, he's developed quarterbacks. There's no two ways about it. You look at some of the names on that list. They had some good years when he was with them. You know, so we'll see what he does. And he's supposedly somehow kind of connected with the Kubiak tree, from what I understand, from some of the shit that I read.
Yes,
so,
he is. He's connected to his dad.
You know, so I mean, that's another bonus. You know, he's another branch off of that, basically. So, Jay, what's your take on as far as him coming in now as the new QB coach? Do you trust him to develop the rookie, basically?
Well, I do, and I am surprised that they went ahead and hired somebody. And this kind of,
I like this guy.
This kind of,
he's the guy who was talking shit a minute ago. I like him.
Oh, now all of a sudden he's your best friend.
He's my best friend.
No, yeah, I was surprised that they hired a quarterback coach. You know, this is like really last minute, which is crazy. But I'm glad they did. This takes off a lot of pressure on Clint and Andrew to try to work and develop a young rookie quarterback. Obviously, having Clint as a first time head coach on his first year, Janoko, you know, same thing, running an offense. You know, though these guys have already worked together, it's still there's a lot of things that now they have to go ahead and put more focus on. So that would, I don't know how much that would take away from them either really focusing on the offense or how much attention they would put on, let's say, if we were to draft Fernando Mendoza. Bringing in a guy like Mike Sullivan, who already has experience, already has a pedigree, he's worked, the big name, Eli Manning, and we saw what the Giants were able to do. Eli, he was part of that big year. I think it was 2011 when Eli just blew it up. He was part of that. He was there with Roethlisberger, Big Ben, as well. So he has a pedigree. He's worked with guys before, and it's just having somebody that could develop a young guy and show him and get him ready to operate at this level. Not only just operate, but be, bring out the fullest potential of Fernando Mendoza. I think Mike Sullivan's probably the best guy to be able to go ahead and do that. So I'm definitely cool with that hire of Mike Sullivan. I think it was a great idea. I was a little bit nervous, low key. Not gonna lie, I'm like, yo, how's this gonna work out, dog? I'm like, okay. I mean, Clint, I'm not doubting Clint, and I'm not doubting Andrew Janoko. I'm just saying, like, these guys have other things they also have to go ahead and manage. Now they're also going to have to manage developing a young quarterback. It's a lot, but I'm glad they were able to find somebody, and Mike is connected to his dad, Gary Kubiak, and I think from the days at Denver. That's how they all know each other, or something like that. So it makes sense.
In that time frame, when was
he
in Denver again?
I think he was in Denver. I think
2018. He was in Denver.
Yeah, so that's a time where they know each other, and that's why I say, like, this league relationships matter. And
but was
able to pull one out? So
was he still there in 2018? though? I don't think Gary Kubiak was still there in 2018.
I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to look it up. I don't know. I'm doubting myself, so I want to say yes, though.
Let me see.
He was there. Yep. He was there.
He took over. Okay, so on January 4th, 2018, Sullivan was named the QB's coach of the Denver Broncos, taking over for interim QB coach Clint Kubiak following the end of the Broncos season. He was not retained by newly hired head coach Vic Fangio. So I don't know who. Yeah, it might have been him then. I thought he was out of the league sooner than that. Meaning Gary. I didn't think he was still there. All right. Let's see.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, 2018. Okay, 2018 was Hackett. So no, it wasn't him. But he was still on. Well, Kubiak would have been. Was Clint still with the team? I don't know. I'd have to look back at that too.
He was there as a senior advisor. He was part of the team, but he was just not in a coaching kind of.
So yeah, give it time now, because now you just put that out there. A lot of people probably didn't even realize that. Because lots of ex-Broncos on this staff and in the front office. Funny that I don't hear Raider Nation calling us the Desert Denver or Broncos West like they did with the previous regimes, right? Or the Seahawks of the Midwest now.
Las Vegas Seahawks is probably more fitting than
the
Desert Broncos or whatever the fuck.
All right, so we're all happy with the Sullivan pick then, right? Bringing him in as the new QB coach. We got no issues. I got no issues.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got a QB coach, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's probably the best route, just to manage expectation, time, development. Now you have somebody that's their sole purpose, is developing this kid, working with the quarterbacks.
Jay, how you doing for time? You still good with the kids and everything?
Yeah, wifey hasn't said anything, so we cool.
All right. So I was going to roll into this real quick. I don't think we'll be on this one for too long. We all know the number one pick. So number one pick, the 36th pick, which should have been the 14th pick, is our second pick in the entire draft. That 36th pick is probably the more important pick out of this draft, to be honest with you right now, because we already know what we're doing with the number one. You know, we're wasting that number one pick on one person when we could turn it into multiples. But that's okay. I digress.
Using it wisely.
That's debatable also.
Meeting our need.
That's debatable also. So what's the move at number 36? So chat, I've got a poll up on my two feeds, two different polls actually. So make sure you guys get over and vote on both of them. The one on my vertical is, what should we do at 36? O-line, DL, a weapon, or best player available? On the other one, I have, what's the Raiders? Well, that's a different question, but Raiders, what's the biggest Raiders what if? Tuck Rule, Carr 2016, Jamarcus Russell, or the Mac trade? But that's part of the game we're going to play later. So what do we do with that 36 pick? Jay, I'll let you go first on this one.
You know, for me, I would probably go defensive line, to be honest with you.
His arm's pretty hot too, coach.
but you derailed with that.
Sorry.
No, but we're meeting with Caden McDonald as well, which he could be a late first rounder or he can be early second. That's debatable. It just depends how he falls. I feel if he falls he's there at 36, snatch that puppy up. Let's go ahead and bring him home.
Nate, look at the chat. This one here.
36 pick for Neto Mendoza. That's fucking funny.
Number one. If he's not there, Lee Hunter. That's another person that we met, I believe, during the combine as well. These are big guys. These are big nose tackle guys. So
yeah, it is.
There's a big difference though in between McDonald and Hunter.
So wasted. Thanks for checking in, brother. Appreciate you.
Salute, brother. Thank you for pulling up. There's a big difference between those two. I would, if McDonald's there, get McDonald. If Lee's there and McDonald isn't, he got picked up early, then get him. If none of those two guys are there for whatever reason, maybe linebacker. That's my personal take. Or wide receiver. Denzel Boston, another guy to go ahead and kind of keep a lookout on. If we happen to trade back into the second, early, like mid-second, he might still be there. And that's a dude that I definitely would go ahead and take a flyer on. He had, not only does he have the measurables, but route trees there. I got to see more tape on this guy, but for all intents and purposes, he sounds pretty good. That's if you want to address wide receiver position, and I would do it in the second round. I wouldn't really go too much into the third unless you're gonna draft like a guy like Zach Branch. Then now I'm like, okay, cool.
Jay, that's on your channel.
Oh, hey, appreciate you, my guy. Salute to my guy Wasted. Now one of my members at Just Raiders. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the $5 super.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really feel. I really don't feel like any other position would be worth it at 36. Like offensive line, I think we good on that in the sense where the only one that I would probably do is maybe right tackle, but that's debatable. So I don't know.
I think we're good with offensive line in the first two rounds. I think we can hold off a little bit. Nate, what do you think we do? What's your take on 36?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying two guys for the most part at 36. And I think you can't go wrong with either of them. And it's Lee Hunter and Jacoby Lane. Those are the two guys that I think will fall to 36 and are obtainable. And that would give us somewhere in between of meeting a need and best player available. I think both of those guys can fit and play immediately, especially with, the need that we have. And they're obviously not bad players as well. So those two guys to me are definitely at the height of my specific players at 36. Otherwise, we talked about it a little bit last week. I think I would probably prefer to go nose tackle first, even if Jacoby Lane is on the board, which I know hurts me to say.
I like Jacoby too.
I know I really like Jacoby, but I think I would prefer to go nose tackle first, considering that there's less at that position in this draft, and then go wide receiver in the third, considering that a lot of people have Zach Branch, falling to the third. And if that happens, I think that would be, a perfect fit, or we would make out at least in the first three rounds of the draft. So I think either way, I like those two guys specifically, but I would think probably leaning towards nose tackle in the second round.
My feeling, I don't disagree with anything that you guys have said, but my ultimate, if it was me as a GM, I'm taking either the best nose tackle available at that time. If it's Hunter, it's Hunter. If it's McDonald, it's McDonald. If neither one of them are there for whatever reason, I'll tell you two guys I've seen a lot lately that I'm kind of somewhat hyped on is Corleone and Big Citrus. And and then we could wait a couple more rounds to get one of those two more than likely. And then at that point, at number 2, you could address that wide receiver or safety or corner, or if I know everybody was clamoring for Jacob Rodriguez, but I've seen that's fallen off lately. I haven't seen a lot of people calling for him. But I think that was because of us bringing in the 2 linebackers that we brought in with Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean. Bringing those 2 guys in kind of pushed everybody off that narrative of Rodriguez. Whereas if we get that 0 tech guy first up front, that's kind of like the last piece of that puzzle for that front 7, for that front line, basically. And then all we all have to worry about is what we can get later on in the draft at a corner or a safety. But regardless, what we have on the roster will make their life already easier in that secondary based on what we're going to have up front. Because we're going to get penetration. We're going to be able to stop the run. We're going to have Max hopefully getting in there. You're going to have Kwity Paye getting in there. These linebackers are going to be extremely athletic and active. This defense has done a complete 180 from the time Max was traded to Baltimore to the time he came back. Those 4 days, this defense fucking converted, So I'm all for the tackle. I'm definitely up for that.
What are you laughing at? 805, bro.
805's comment.
That one there?
Yeah.
Man, if he drops the
if he fucking falls, dog, I'm taking him immediately, bro.
All right, let's go. Get that
most of the chat's been saying defensive nose tackle, defensive tackle. I've seen wide receiver named a couple of times, a safety, a couple of I've seen offensive linemen. There's one right here that just came up. I just saw that one. I don't think we need to go with we can hold off on the offensive line, I think, for a couple more rounds. I don't think we need to go for one unless one of the top ones still falls to us at number 2, and it's a left tackle preferably. Because that's the only spot I would really like to see us shore up would be a definite bona fide guy to take over for Colton Miller, sooner than later. I don't want to wait. I want somebody that's going to just walk right into that position the day he walks out the door, or he gets injured, basically,
And that's a good thing about having like multiple 4th round picks. Like we're able to go ahead and pick up like a solid like swing tackle like somewhere in the 4th round. And that'll be a good investment because you can plug them in on either side, even though we already have Charles Grant. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes one guy might be better at a certain side than the other, so you always have that option. Or somebody goes down, you have another guy that can come in. So I am definitely not against like picking up another swing tackle. It doesn't necessarily have to be a left but getting another swing tackle would be ideal, just for that depth.
So that's pretty much where I'm at with the as far as the draft, as far as number 36. I mean, we can go on and on, with what we think we should take. I mean, ultimately, we're gonna have to wait and see. We know what we're doing with number 1, so that's done and over with. We already know that one. I would still like to trade out of it, but whatever. It is what it is. I'll have to deal with it at that point.
Yeah.
So, all right. So for the last 30 minutes or so, roughly here, we're gonna have some fun. All right. So let me pull up my sheet here, so I can run.
A lot of people saying that Denzel won't be there at 36. It's great, and they might be right. He's that good.
Who?
Denzel Boston. He might not be there at 36.
Oh, the wide receiver.
Yeah, he might be like a late to mid first. If he's there in the second, I don't know. It's just that weighing in on what you want to go ahead and do at 36. That's something that Spytek will have to make that call on.
What's up, my 2 cents? What's going on, man? Let's see. Wide receiver from Texas Tech. Let's see. That's what 805 said he would do with his 14th if we still had it. Francis Moaga.
Yeah, Moaga's
great if the dead teams aren't given what the pick is worth. True. I do like McDonald more than Hunter, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
Anybody that wants to see, there's a little trick I learned the other day. If you go to YouTube in the search bar at the top and just type in, say, Ohio State defense versus, and then just hit enter, it'll show you every defensive play for that particular game. Won't show you anything else. It'll show you, well, actually, you're going to see the offensive play, but you're going to see from the defensive side.
Wait,
so if it's Ohio State, you can key in on him and watch him specifically. So it's actually pretty cool how you can do that.
What is
and
this?
You can go in YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you type in the search, Ohio State defense versus, and then just hit enter. You may have to do 2025 season. I don't know if it'll break it down that way or not. I don't remember now. Did it the other day, and I was watching. I did it for Ohio State. Did it for Texas Tech. Did it for Big Citrus. I did it for Corleone. I did it for all those and watched those specifically. And that's why I said Corleone grew on me a little bit.
Yeah, he's good.
A little bit more than Hunter, because Hunter was playing a lot lesser talent. 805 was doing it the other day too. That's where I got the tip from on how to look it up. And I was watching all those.
Hunter's still good, yeah, but the talent is just because.
Yeah. It seemed like every time he was showing one of these guys, they always all played BYU, and BYU's left their center and their left guard, or I forget the right guard, was getting eaten alive by these guys, like totally blown off the ball. And all I said in the chat was, I said, find out who number 51, what his name is, and make sure we don't draft this guy if he's in the draft, because I don't want him anywhere near the team because he's horrible. God, please.
Okay.
This account on YouTube cuts it up himself and posts.
It's pretty cool, right?
It's really cool.
I told you, it's a good way to just narrow it down. So even if you want to do, say, Indiana offense versus, and it's the same thing basically. So it's pretty cool. It's different. It's a short, and only like 12 minutes long too, so you don't have to watch the entire game, but you can see every single play. See. Yeah, toss like a rag doll. All right, so we're gonna play this little game here. All right, now Chad's definitely involved in this. It's a what if game. It's going to be changes in Raiders history. Okay, so the what if part. So I'm going to give you a moment in NFL history or Raider history, because there is one NFL scenario in here where everything went wrong. And we're going to flip it. what if it all went right? How does it change the league, the Raiders, everything? Okay. So I'm going to state what the scenario is. So the first scenario, this is kind of an easy one, but we're going to start off with this one. The tuck rule game. What if the fumble stands and the Raiders win? Do they win the Super Bowl? Does Brady become Brady? Does the Patriots dynasty happen? So what is your what if on that? What do you think? I'll let you figure out who's going to go first.
Go, Nate.
I
Not too
think
much. I'm just kidding, bro.
I think two big things happen. I think one, John Gruden never gets traded. I don't think that happens. And two, I think that the Patriots they stick with Bledsoe.
Ooh. Interesting.
At least for another year.
Jay?
Oh, we definitely making the Super Bowl. Would we have won it? I think we would have won it. The Patriots. No, I think they would still go with Brady the following year. Bledsoe was already on his way out. He was already on that last leg of his career, bro. Yeah, I don't think that outcome. I don't think changes. But yes, definitely that would have been our. I think probably that's one of our strongest teams that we had in that like 3-year time span.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
The only offense that I think was better than that year was the next year when we made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But they were pretty even. Not far off.
Yeah.
So in the chat, Detroit guy says Brady still becomes Brady. We just get our championship that year. Coach says, yeah, we win the Super Bowl. He goes, actually, the Raiders win back-to-back because Gruden stays, just like you said, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Dan says, we win in Pittsburgh, beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, move back to L.A. Raiders pick up 2 more championship. Gruden stays. Gannon won the MVP. I think Raiders win the Super Bowl. The Raiders go on a dynasty with Gruden. Gruden gets inducted into Hall of Fame, and Oakland officials find a way to keep the team in East Bay. That could be a possibility. I mean, that is definitely, wow, that's really going deep in the what if on that one, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So the next one. This one's gonna be good. Jamarcus Russell. What if he becomes the franchise quarterback? Does this save the Raiders in the 2000s? Do we avoid the dark years? And does Al Davis look like a genius again?
What if he was to be the franchise quarterback?
Yeah, what if he becomes that franchise quarterback that we drafted him to be?
I don't think he would ever be that. I don't think in whatever
I think that's
dimension
the biggest problem.
Yeah, I don't think in whatever dimension. If you believe in multiverse, I don't think there's a multiverse out there that would make Jamarcus Russell, the premier franchise quarterback. He was technically our franchise quarterback. He was
just didn't work out.
Yeah, he was just a bust. He just didn't pan out. I don't know. I mean, obviously, yeah. If there's a dimension that actually would have happened, of course, yeah, I would have looked like a fucking genius. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's one.
So, do you think we fixed that drought, Nate, in the 2000s?
Honestly, I don't think so. Even if he
becomes a franchise quarterback, you don't think we have better seasons?
I think the roster just in general wasn't very good throughout those seasons.
See, that's where you're thinking.
Like just the roster around Jamarcus Russell wasn't very good.
No, that either.
I mean, but if he does become a franchise quarterback, then does that incentivize the front office to go and get more players, or does it? I mean, obviously, that changes a lot. But I think if it's just strictly Jamarcus Russell becomes good, I still don't think that the Raiders are good in general just because he's good.
So Darren says, I don't think we would be in a 23-year drought. He didn't do that. Yeah. Oh, James Firpo's in the house. Hold on. Hit him with the
Raiders.
let's see. Jamarcus Russell, 7-time Super Bowl instead of Brady. Yeah, okay. Seen a video on YouTube about a coach before Madden was coach with. Let's see. Media probably strikes Oko if Jamarcus Russell doesn't bust. He was saying champion. Damn. Jamarcus wouldn't be the franchise quarterback in 3,000 multiverses, but it's a what if. So just say it happened. Jeez, they suck the fun out of everything. What the
on
fuck?
that 3001 multiverse that you
What's up,
actually
Nutty
get to be the guy.
BPA for life. Oh, then he's not on Mendoza then either.
Yeah, but I agree with Nate. Like, with he didn't have a good team around him because, like, we drafted him in 2007. Fifth year, fourth or fifth year, depending, like, where he really would have probably shined if that would have happened. That would have been 2011, 12. Yeah, we really didn't get like better until 2016. So he would have been already like 9 years in the league, and I don't know if he would have still had it, but
Damon doesn't get the game. It's a what if. What if Jamarcus Russell was the franchise quarterback? Don't tell me that he's not, because we all know he wasn't. I get that. Yes, he was the Black Ryan Leaf. But what if he was? Does it stop us from having that drought of 20-something years? Does the 2000s turn out better for us? But without that, we're going to move on. Khalil Mack. What if the Raiders never trade him? Does the defense become elite? Do the Raiders contend earlier? And does the culture actually change? This one's going to hit hard for some people, I think.
You want to go ahead and lead it off, Nate?
What was the question? Say it again. Sorry.
Oh, if we never traded Khalil away, where we got better, elite.
Oh, fuck.
So if we didn't trade him away, right? Does the defense become elite? Do the Raiders contend earlier? And does the culture change? A mí no habla inglés.
It's hard. It's hard because without the Khalil Mack trade, although we fucking fumbled for the most part, all of the picks that we got in return, you don't end up with Josh Jacobs. You don't end up with like some pretty significant pieces. So I don't know. I think the first year
doesn't get it.
I think the first year is better. I think the first year is better, but I don't know if the Raiders ever become 2016 again. Like I don't know if that team is able to replicate that. I think that team was just on a magical run that 2016 year, and I don't know. I don't think it changes much, to be honest. I don't think that the Raiders.
I think it does. If we never traded Mack, right?
2
years later, Maxx Crosby's here.
But
and it wasn't an early round pick, but we still would have probably.
We would have been.
The reason why we chose multiple defensive ends, the upcoming years, is because John Gruden came out and said, "Oh, it would be nice to have a pass rusher," and he said it multiple times throughout the years. So that's why we went so hard on the defensive end spot.
So you don't think that would have changed anything if Mack would have stayed?
Not much. I don't think that the Raiders become perennial playoff contenders, perennial, Super Bowl contenders.
What about you, Jay?
We may have become like the 2000 Ravens. Khalil would have stayed, bro. To be honest, maybe, I don't know, because that's the thing. Like, you're missing out on getting our offense outside of like 2016 wasn't really that great. Like we had like little blurps here and there. So that's why I said, like, if anything, we probably would have become like the 2000 Ravens, or we're winning games like 10-3 and shit. That type of scenario. But maybe I think we would have made probably more playoff appearances, but I don't know if we would have won the Super Bowl. I don't know. There would have been a lot of other stuff that had to go into it to make that happen.
What's up, Justin? Welcome in. Welcome in.
That'd be a fucking nasty ass defense, though. That's for damn sure.
Would have been. Just to remind everybody, make sure you guys get to all the channels. You got myself, 401 Rated Jeff, then Jay from Just Rated His Babies channel, Nate, LV Rated 10, and Cheeto Linus. Leo is streaming to his channel. He's just not here tonight. So if you haven't yet, make sure you guys do the gauntlet, hit all 4, hit the subs, hit the notifications, and make sure you get over to Nate's channel too. I see Nate's getting a lot of love in his channel tonight with people watching. So shout out to those people that are in there watching.
Make sure you guys
channel.
hit the subscribe on this channel, please.
Yeah, please do. Let's see. A lot of people are like kind of not wanting to go with the fucking what's up, SoCal Sal, with answering the Mac one. These people are really hurt over that one. Everybody keeps oh, Nate's stream kicked me out.
Yeah, when we were playing the thing, he was the one that told me that my stream got shut down.
Y'all lost me when you started to talk about trading down from the first overall pick when you all know we need a QB. Mendoza was the pick, supporter. And
I didn't say that.
Get over it.
It's two guys. If we were to trade
totally on it.
away from
again, people forget there's other quarterbacks in the draft. It's not that we're not going to want to take a quarterback. We're not sitting up and saying don't ever take a quarterback this draft. There's other quarterbacks. You don't have to take that one. Is the whole point.
We already have a quarterback.
Yeah, we got AOC 12. We got
AOC 12.
We're good. We're good.
Lord to see him.
What's up, Hits Boys? Hits Boy, what's up, man? All right, next one. We're going to skip on to the next one. This one's going to hit too, I think. Derek Carr, 2016. What if he never gets injured? Do the Raiders make a Super Bowl run? Does his legacy change? That's the big one. Does his legacy change as a Raider? Do people hate him as much as they did towards the end? Do the Raiders stick with him long term if he does?
You see, now this one, for sure, I don't think Derek Carr coming off of his injury gets as, if his injury never happened. One, okay, let's start at the beginning. If he doesn't get injured, I think we beat the Texans. And then who was in the second round? I think it was like the Broncos or something with Brock Osweiler that the Texans ended up having to play. We beat Brock Osweiler and the Broncos, and then we lose to Tom Brady in the championship game. There was no way that Patriots team was losing to anybody that year. There's no way.
Yeah.
That team was insane. I mean, they willed themselves to a Super Bowl win that year too. So I think we make it to the championship game, and I think the few seasons after that, obviously bearing that these two things coincide, that we don't trade Mac and Derek Carr isn't so timid coming off of his injury, I think then, only then, does the Raiders actually become, the perennial playoff contenders and potential Super Bowl contenders.
Do you feel the same way, Jay?
No, yeah, I essentially feel the same way. Like, I don't, I think we would have beat the Texans. Yeah, I don't know. I doubt we would have beat New England in that divisional. Man, that would have been.
I don't either.
That would have been.
I think we make it to the championship game for sure.
Well,
I think we had a good possibility of getting that far.
I forgot about this too. That wasn't the last game. Coach just brought it up.
Go ahead.
He said, no, listen to me. If Carr didn't get injured, the Raiders beat the Broncos at the last season of the game. The seeding had the Raiders then at the second seed, and then they faced the Steelers at home, which I totally did forget about too. So we would have an easier path.
All right. So Ja Raider says we make it to the championship at least. Coach says if Carr didn't break his leg, they make it to the championship. Do the Raiders get past the Patriots? That's the tough question.
I still don't think we get past the Patriots.
I don't think
we get past the Patriots. No.
Yeah. Big Luck says Carr wins the AFC. Okay. Dick said Jeff just wants to reminisce on all. It's going to tie together at the end, so relax. If he doesn't break his leg in that game, we might get all the way to the Super Bowl that year. He was on fire when he broke his leg. He became gun shy. He started seeing ghosts.
I agree.
Derek Carr would have Eli Manning-esque legacy. Yeah, because, I mean, seriously, if he would have made it to the Super Bowl and they would have won, that would have changed his trajectory, I think, within the Raider organization and the fan base would have fallen in love with him. The ones that didn't like him and called him Noodle Arm and all the other crap, because I've heard a lot of shit about what people called him way before I even started doing this YouTube thing. It was insane. And these are local guys that were doing this around me that were calling him all kinds of names and shit. It's like, God damn it. You guys like hate everybody on our team? What the fuck?
So
what's up, Rimblade?
Because I look back because I don't fucking remember what happened like after we lost versus the Texans, but the Texans played New England divisional, and then New England went on and they played Pittsburgh in the championship game, in the AFC championship. So that's why I'm saying like I don't think we would have gone one more round, but I don't think we would have beat New England. New England was just
that was the Musgrave firing season too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why he was saying that keep our OC and make a difference. Raiders 2016 was top 10 in the league.
Yep.
I think
he
we would have
definitely
moved
touches the Super Bowl and sticks with the Raiders. Yep. Let's see. They fixed the there we go. Patriots were stacked. Yeah, they were too.
Yeah,
that's
they
the only
were.
downside. That was that they were undefeated? No, that wasn't their undefeated.
No, 2007 was their undefeated, but
That's right.
The 2016 year was the year that they came back against the Falcons in the Super Bowl.
Thanks, Jay. We weren't aware of that, but thanks for filling us in on that. Much appreciated. Check back with me on Friday nights if you're a fan of another team, which obviously you are. Well, I don't know. I mean, because some fans apparently don't want to see the Raiders win, even though they're Raiders fans. So who knows anymore? I don't know. Fucking lost after tonight. It's just everything just blended together. All right, so everybody pretty much is in agreement then that we go further, but some say we do win the Super Bowl, some say we don't. Now this is going to be an NFL one. Marshawn Lynch goal line. What if the Seahawks give him the ball in that game? Do the Seahawks become a dynasty? Does Russell Wilson's legacy change? And does it hurt Brady's GOAT case?
To me, I honestly, I think it was the right call to pass the ball, in my opinion. It doesn't hurt Brady. This is my personal favorite Super Bowl of all time. It doesn't hurt Brady in any sense because he still ends up winning after the fact.
Real quick, that's the perfect reason why we wouldn't beat the Patriots right there. He just said it in a nutshell. Defense.
Yep, exactly.
The Giants' defense was right to pick them for sure. Sorry, go ahead, Nate. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I think the Seahawks contend for years after that, even more so than they did. They kind of fell off after that game. But even if you hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, that doesn't guarantee he scores there, in my opinion. I mean,
a 1 yard line, right?
Yeah.
He's
getting in, dog.
I think he's getting in.
Oh, he's getting in.
I still think it was the right play call, but it was just a really, really, really great defensive play. But yeah, I think either way, it doesn't hurt Brady. I think the Seahawks still go on to contend for a couple more years. But I think everything kind of just stays the same. It's just the ending of the game is just different.
Jay?
Bubba. Marshawn's getting in like that. Quarterback on prom night, bro. You already know what time it is.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. But I don't think they would become a legacy, a dynasty. I don't know if it would necessarily hurt Brady's legacy. Doing everything he did later on in his career. But yeah, that's probably the one he would have wanted back for sure. And it's just like it's so heavily criticized, especially on Pete Carroll, that he decided to go ahead and pass this as opposed to giving it to Marshawn. Basically, Marshawn was like on fire the whole fucking game, and they didn't trust him at the one. So yeah, that would have been almost an automatic 6. However you wanted to go ahead and line that up, scheme wise, he would have got in. You give him an inch, he's gonna go ahead and get in. So yeah, it would have changed the outcome, but I don't know if the Seahawks being a dynasty so hard. Literally, I think probably I hate to say it, only probably the Patriots were able to kind of achieve that. I don't even think the Chiefs were on that same level as the Patriots. Close, but I don't think they're on that kind of level. But I'm biased, so I don't know. But yeah,
most are saying he gets in. They're all saying he runs it in. I see him getting in. I don't see them stopping him. Does it change does it make them a legacy? No. Do I think they're back in it the following year? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
If definitely. They win that, does that help Russell Wilson's case to make him a little bit more relevant in the NFL? Yeah, I think so. But I think it does more for Marshawn, to be honest with you. I don't think you see him leave. I think you see him stay there and finish his career in Seattle. I see that it changes a lot of things for those players on that team if they win that Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Marshawn would be the hero, plain and simple. If he would have thrown and gotten the touchdown instead of the interception, Russell Wilson obviously would have been the hero. That would have changed things for him too. But yeah, so I think they definitely get in.
Let me ask you this, Jeff. So if Marshawn would have got it in, and he would have stayed in Seattle for a while longer, do you think he would have came over to Oakland? You think he would never come to Oakland?
I think he would have stayed. I think he would have stayed in Seattle because they had something going there where they could have built on that for a couple of years, where they would have been more relevant. I don't think you'd see him. I think he would have finished his career in Seattle, or Seattle would have just ended ties with him.
What about you?
I think you would have seen him stay.
I think he still ends up going to the Raiders for that 1 year.
Considering
that they were leaving Oakland, that's the reason why he went. I still think that he goes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you say that, yeah, I get that part then. But I still think he would stay because I think they would offer him the money to stay. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And some players, they at this point they want the money. But getting that ring would have helped him make that decision. Because if he got the ring, then he might have been more freely to want to, explore. So what's up, Rorschach? Welcome in. He goes, yo, Jay, Nate, Jeff. I had a shitty day at work, so I was unwinding the Beatles, Abbey Road, and Pink Floyd albums in 5.0. And now you're listening to our beautiful voices.
Yes,
so what a way to cap your night off, you lucky son of a bitch.
Hey, yeah, man. Sorry you had a shitty day at work. I feel you, bro. Hopefully, we can entertain you a little bit and make it a little bit better.
I did select this one. I was kicking it around whether I wanted to ask this one or not, but I've decided based on how everything's going tonight, I don't care. If someone gets pissed off about it, I don't really give a shit. Henry Ruggs. What if situation never happens?
Ooh.
Does offense become
cooking? He was cooking before. Dude.
Yeah. So what if the situation never happens? Does the offense become explosive? Does it change defenses played against us? And does it help Carr long term? I got one more after this, and then we're done.
Oh, that's hard. I honestly, that means that 21 team is even better than the playoff. They made the playoffs that year.
It did make the playoffs that year. Mm-hmm.
That means that 21 team is even better, which is so crazy.
Oh, we would have gotten past Cincy, bro.
Oh, 100%. For sure. For you, I think
somebody mentioned Cincy in the chat earlier too about the whistle. I didn't bring it up because it's not one of the ones we were talking about, but they did say that.
I don't think the whistle would have even played a factor, bro. Because I think we would have probably been more decisively. It wouldn't have been as close. We're like, fuck, it's back and forth, Because Ruggs did change the game.
Yes, he did. He definitely did.
We're not playing that one tonight. The Bo Jackson one. I was going to put that in there, but I decided not to. There's a lot to that one if you think about it with the Bo Jackson.
Oh yeah, and then you could have quantified that.
It's
so let's
tough.
get back to the Ruggs thing.
It's tough because
I mean Bob Ruggs.
Oh, Ruggs.
It's tough because does that mean? I mean, John Gruden still gets fired. Like the potential? Yeah, does the potential of that team like go past that year? Anyways, because he gets fired, we still hire Josh McDaniels hypothetically. So like the potential of that year is only for the rest of that year. You know? I mean I could completely see that too, but oh man. I think for that season we at least make it to the divisional round. Which I mean is very successful for the Raiders franchise at this point.
Well, here's the thing with that season, right? So Gruden resigns. He didn't get fired. He resigns. Bisaccia takes over. Then the Henry Ruggs thing happens while Bisaccia is in charge. Okay? So if it didn't happen, that's Bisaccia taking these guys further in the playoffs. This is where this all can change now, too. Does that solidify him to get hired as the actual head coach? And how does, because he's already there, he's the one that's putting these guys in the position now because he's now the head coach. He is still working off the Gruden system. He is still using the same coaches that Gruden hires. But if he gets hired as the full-time head coach, well, full-time, not like there's a part-time head coach out there, but if he gets hired as the actual head coach, does that change the trajectory going forward? Are we in the same position we're in now? You know, with all these, with all this crap that's happened since that incident. Because since that incident, the team's just shit, you know, been crap.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
is the brightest it's looked for us.
I think it's the same because I truly don't believe that Rich Bisaccia was the right choice at head coach. I do think that Mark Davis had the right idea in bringing in someone like Josh McDaniels. It's just that obviously he was a shit head coach. I think he had all the right, thoughts and intentions behind the Josh McDaniels hiring. It just so happens that it was fucking Josh McDaniels,
Do you agree with this statement?
I don't think his rescue so relied on speed way too much. Yeah. But see, the thing is, everyone around that wide receiver core, you needed Henry Ruggs at that speed spot because you had Hunter Renfrow who could run every route. You had Zay Jones too that can attack the middle. And honestly, all of those receivers had a very good year that 2021 year. Darren Waller, another receiving threat at the tight end position. A healthy Darren Waller. Exactly. So that's what makes the Henry Ruggs thing so intriguing because they kind of put the entire offense together.
And that was Josh Jacobs back there running the ball too.
Yep.
So you had the running back, you had the tight end, you had the deep threat in Ruggs, you had the sure hands over the middle with Renfrow. You had an offensive line that kept Carr pretty much upright. The weakest thing was probably our defense, to be honest with you. Because what'd you have? You had Maxx.
I'm trying to think. Maxx. That was Yannick year.
Yep. Okay, so you had those two. You had the end settled. Who was our tackle? What's his name?
Denzel Perryman, who led the league in tackles that year.
Oh yeah, Perryman was
right.
fucking.
You're right. We did have him. And we had oh my god, what the hell was that guy's name? The offensive tackle. We had him. He was ancient by the time he left us.
Oh, Trent Brown.
No, offensive, defensive tackle.
Oh, defensive tackle.
Tillery. Tillery.
We had Solomon Thomas that year. We had who else did we have? Was that the first year of
Abrams? No, not Abrams.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Jefferson?
No.
Quentin Jefferson?
No.
Yeah, I think it. Are you sure?
No.
We
just it was 2 years ago was his last year he played with us. He was like 38.
I don't remember.
Don't know.
I'm trying to think of who of our secondary was that year. I know we had a Jonathan Hankins.
No,
Nutty Raider Nate said.
no, it wasn't him.
You sure?
Jenkins.
Oh, Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn, we said
I like you said Hankins. That's why I said that. Jenkins. That's what it was.
Jenkins, yeah.
That's what it
Dan
was because
said
he was there then.
Yeah. Shout out to Dan. He got it. Jenkins. Yeah. That's interesting.
I that's one of my favorite teams, obviously, because it's one of our most successful as of recent years.
So, well, look at this one here. All right, so 2021, we finished 10-7. So on our offense, we had Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Nelson Aguilar, Darren Waller, Jason Witten, Henry Ruggs. Offensive line was Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson, Sam Young, Denzel Good, and Colton Miller. On the defense, we had Pharrell, Hankins, Malik Collins, Maxx Crosby, Corey Littleton, Nick Kwiatkowski.
Oh, Nick Kwiatkowski was good too.
Yeah, Nicholas Morrow. In the secondary, we had Mullen, Lawson, Jonathan Abram, Eric Harris, and our return men were Jalen Rashad and Hunter Renfro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that team a lot.
Yeah, that was a really good fucking team.
No, I'm sorry. No. I take that back. God damn it. I fucked that one up. Hold on. I moved down when I went to the defense. So defense was Ngakoue, Hankins, Quentin Jefferson, and Maxx Crosby. Linebackers were Littleton, Perryman, and KJ Wright. Faison, Howard, Abram, and Mooring were the secondary. And then it's still Renfro and Rashad.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the receivers wrong too. I was in the wrong.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yep. So it was Derek Carr, Josh Jacob, Brian Edwards, Zay Jones, Hunter Renfro, and Darren Waller. Because Ruggs was already off the team at that point.
Are you sure that? Are you sure you got the offensive line right too? Because I don't think you got the offensive line.
Nope, I got that one wrong too.
Yeah.
I looked at, you know what it was? I just moved down the year by accident. Offensive line was left tackle Miller, left guard Simpson. Andre James was the center.
That's why. Yeah, I remember him.
This was the Alex Leatherwood, right guard, and Brandon Parker, right tackle.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty stout team, I thought. At 10-7 with all the shit that we went through.
Yeah, we did have Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Deshaun.
That awesome Cowboys game on Thanksgiving.
Bro, I was there. That was fucking sick. I was like,
Such
oh,
a good Cowboys game.
As soon as I'm sitting down, these motherfuckers decide to fucking launch it. I'm like, God damn it. Like, I barely caught it, bro. I had to look up at the replay for the whole thing. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, see, they had it right. I was looking at the wrong. I went down a year after I started looking at it. I fucked that up. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Jenkins, Hankins, Hanky Panky, whatever. All right, so we'll do the last one and then we're done. Raider QB drafts. What if the Raiders hit on QB picks? How many playoff runs? How many division titles? Are any Raiders a dynasty instead of rebuilding? So you look at the quarterbacks that we've drafted in the past. If any of those would have hit.
See, that's the problem is the Raiders don't choose quarterback often and not in a significant draft spot. So
at least not while Al Davis was around. Well, I shouldn't say that. Because
just in general, they don't really. Just in general, like Derek Carr was our highest draft spot. He was in the second round.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad one. Now that I look at it, that was a kind of a shitty question.
But I agree with Nate on the Henry Ruggs thing. Like, I think that we would have beat Cincy. We would have moved past them. But I think I don't think Mark would have taken that flyer to keep Bisaccia on.
Imagine a Raiders Rams Super Bowl in Los Angeles. Holy fuck. That's what we missed out on. That's what we were robbed of.
Damn it.
Well, if you go back and look at some of what we took and what we could have had, Calvin Johnson, Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
My God, Adrian Peterson was another one. We could have had him. I forget who we took in his place. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's so many that a player that was drafted after us was just like, are you shitting me? Mahomes is another one. Mahomes went after we had picked already, So I mean, it's the what coulda, the woulda, coulda, shoulda shit. Fitzgerald, yes, Fitzgerald's one, Megatron's one. Megatron's Calvin Johnson. I forgot. I looked this up the other day too. What we took instead of Fitzgerald. Oh, fuck, who the hell was that?
Dan said Gallery.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Fitzgerald and Gallery. Yep. That fucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
I need to buy a jersey.
Rodgers over
It ain't gonna be that one. I'm done with that fucker.
Yeah, it was insane.
So
Tyree.
Before we get out of here, basically this whole what if game, it's on, this is a franchise that's built on what could have been, but maybe we're finally heading towards what will be, so that's why I kind of wanted to do a what if type of thing, because put all that shit past us now, do the what ifs, what changes the narrative for us, so what could have been, what should have been, now is what we could be, what we will be going forward. Let's get back to that commitment to excellence, get back to the just win, baby. This is where this starts to feel that we're starting to build that momentum a little bit. On paper, we look really good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Until the season starts, then things will start to really heat up and we'll get a better feeling for where this team's going forward. So before we get out of here, Jay, you got any final thoughts you want to throw out there before we bail?
I mean, for the whole commitment to excellence thing, I think like Q said it best. Right now it's just a thought, bro. It's not even a thing anymore. Until we start winning, it'll become a thing. So this is the first step in building the foundation to that. Whatever that's right. I think we're in a really good path. We've done right now, as of to this point, majority of the decisions have been really good. Not all of them have been great, but most of them have been good. Clearly different from last year. And that's kind of what I was hoping for. Was us making a big splash in free agency. That's what we said. That's what was done. We did that. So now it's like looking on towards the draft, right? If Fernando's going to be the pick at 1, cool. Who's going to be in the second? Who's going to be in the third round? So on later rounds as well. And just building this team up. Even after the draft, they're not going to stop building the team. We're still going to pick up guys. We're still going to have late additions. So it's very exciting how they're going to really piece this team together. But obviously the telltale is going to be week 1. Week 1 is going to be the telltale how this season's going to go. But like I said, and I keep saying until the season's over, don't have any major expectations aside from us just looking better on the field. That's it. Us performing better on the field. That's really the only expectation we should have. Win losses shouldn't be a real factor right now. Let Plant and Spy Tech really put this team together. And there's some guys that are not going to work out this year, and that's a given. That's on any team. And some guys are probably not going to be here after this year. We'll get it right. That's why this is a 2-3 year, 4-year thing where we'll start seeing results, year 3, year 4, year 5. So I'm excited.
Just real quick. Definitely. I mean, it can only go up from here. Don't say that. But again, what Coach said here too, a true Raider fan doesn't forget that stuff. And this is where knowing your Raider history, whether you're a new fan or you're an old fan, know your history, know what happened in the past, to help you understand why we were where we were, why some of us feel the same way the way we do now, especially if you're a new fan. If you're a new fan, God bless you, because this isn't an easy team to follow right now. If you're a new fan, just hang in there, But go ahead, Nate. What's your final thoughts?
No, I think Jay summed it up perfectly, and I think that the show kind of spoke for itself. Really, it's just make sure to like and subscribe, everybody. we got a show tomorrow. Me and Jeff will be back on tomorrow with the Raiders Coast to Coast, and you can hear us chat your guys' ear off even more tomorrow. So make sure to tune into that.
Jay, what do you got coming up? You got anything coming up this weekend?
No, not this weekend. Just make sure you guys go ahead and pull up next week for Raiders Unfiltered, unless something happens. I know we hired the QB coach. I'm like, we'll save it for today. Talk about it today. But Tuck Rooker, yeah, it did. But
yeah, like Nate said, we'll be him and I will be on tomorrow night, 10:00 Eastern, 7:00 Pacific. With Raiders Coast to Coast, and then Friday night I'll be on with my No Huddle show. So again, anybody that's a fan of any of the 32 teams in the NFL, I do a phone pull-up show. So phone number's right there underneath me. Save it. You can call and leave a voicemail. We listen to them on air. So you call that number 401-830-9189. And then Saturday night, same phone number. It's Raider Nation Voices with myself and Jason, Raiders First Downs. So make sure you guys hit all the channels here tonight. If you haven't, make sure you get over to LV Rated 10 especially. We got to get his numbers up there too. So see just the final moments here on the show. What do we got? Stay safe, be dangerous. Gruden should have never had the final say in the draft. Yeah, I don't disagree with that one. The maddening thing about 2011 season that all the Raiders had to do was win either one of those two games. They make the playoffs. That was when they had three-way tie. Yep. All right, everybody. Everyone have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats tonight. Thanks to all the moderators. Thanks to all the new subs. We appreciate you all, and stay safe. Go Raiders. See you next week.
Raider Nation. It's time to connect. Leo, Jay, Nate, Jeff, right. Yeah, silver and black. The crew is insane. Breaking down the madness before you can blink. Another week, wow, another storyline. But the Raider connection keeps it all in line. From Vegas lights to the East Coast grind. We talk that truth, no filter, no rewind. Four voices strong, so buckle in tight. It's time to bring the nation to life tonight. This is the Raider Connection Show, where the silver and black stories flow. Leo, J, Nate, and Jeff on go, breaking every play down blow by blow. R and 4L, you already know. Welcome to the Raider Connection Show. Leo with the facts, breaking down the scene. Jay brings a fire, keeping takes real mean. Nate on the road with the vibe and the view. And Jeff swings heavy when the nation needs truth. Wins or losses, we show up proud. Raising Raider Nation, loud and loud. Hit that chat, pull up, don't wait. This is family, this is connection, this is fate. Silver shields up, the energy grows. Four voices united everywhere that it goes. Every first down, every heart rate hit. Raider Nation stay locked, we don't quit. This is the Raider Connection Show, where the silver and black stories flow. Leo, J, Nate, and Jeff on go, breaking every play down blow by blow. R and 4L, that's how we roll. Welcome to the Raider Connection Show. So grab your drink, hit subscribe, let's ride. Raider Nation strong, we never divide. From kickoff to the final echo, you're tuned into the Raider Connection Show. Hey! You're tuned into the Raider Connection Show.